Let's talk about Kashmir, a beautiful mountainous region that's also one of the most militarized places in the world. Because this land is disputed. It's claimed by India and Pakistan.
The dispute between India and Pakistan over Kashmir is one of the longest-running conflicts in the world, and all started with the creation of the South Asian countries.
It's not easy for us. It's not easy for us Kashmiris.
They say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that is trampled upon. We are the grass.
Kashmir, not just a territorial dispute, it is one of the most dangerous unresolved conflicts on the planet. It has triggered wars, it has fueled terrorism, it has frozen trade, and it has kept two nuclear-armed countries locked in permanent hostility since their independence.
Dozens have been killed on both sides in fighting which started on Wednesday between the two enemy nuclear powers, triggering an apparent mediation effort from the United States. India and Pakistan have fought several wars with each other, often involving the disputed Kashmir region.
Every year, India and Pakistan spend tens of billions of dollars preparing for a war neither side claims to want, yet neither side can escape.
In a move drawing global scrutiny, Pakistan has announced an 18% hike in defense spending for its 2025 to 26 budget, allocating over billions of dollars to the military.
Nearly 1 million soldiers remain tied to this single issue. Mountains have been turned into battle zones. Borders are designed for confrontation, not cooperation. One mistake, one miscalculation, and the consequences would not stop in South Asia. But imagine something radically different. Imagine the Kashmir issue is finally resolved. The first thing that changes is fear. Today, the line of control is one of the most militarized borders on Earth. India spends over a few tens of billions of dollars every year on defense.
29,000 crore rupees, or $9 billion US dollars. That's how much India is splurging on defense.
Pakistan, despite a much smaller economy, devotes an unusually large share of its national budget to the military. A resolution would not create instant friendship, but it would create something far more powerful: predictability, fewer ceasefire violations, fewer sudden escalations, fewer moments when the world fears a crisis between two nuclear powers. And that alone would reshape South Asia. The second shockwave would be economic, and the numbers here are impossible to ignore. South Asia is home to nearly 1/4 of the world's population, yet it accounts for less than 5% of global trade. India and Pakistan trade less with each other than many countries trade with partners on the other side of the world. Today, bilateral trade remains stuck at just under a few $billion. Multiple economic studies estimate that normalized relations could push this figure to $20 or even $30 billion annually. That is growth being sacrificed every single year to hostility. Kashmir itself would feel the transformation first. Tourism could return at scale. Infrastructure projects stalled for decades could finally move forward. Hydropower, agriculture, logistics, and local industries could grow without constant disruption. Instead of being a permanent security burden, the region could become an economic bridge. But the impact would go even deeper, into water. Kashmir is not just land. It is the source of rivers that sustain hundreds of millions of people downstream. The Indus River system flows from this region into Pakistan, supporting agriculture, electricity generation, and daily life. As climate change increases water stress across South Asia, control and cooperation over these rivers becomes even more critical. A stable Kashmir reduces the risk of water becoming a weapon. It strengthens long-standing water-sharing agreements, and it lowers the chances of future conflicts driven by scarcity, rather than ideology. Peace here is not just about borders, it is about survival. Then comes the political earthquake. For decades, Kashmir has shaped domestic politics in both India and Pakistan. It has hardened positions, it has limited dialogue, and it has been repeatedly used as a tool to mobilize public opinion during elections and crises. This reveals an uncomfortable truth. The biggest obstacle to peace is not geography, it is political incentive. Conflict is familiar. Peace is risky. Leaders who compromise face backlash. Hardliners frame dialogue as weakness. And so the status quo continues, not because it is good, but because it is politically safer. Resolving Kashmir would force a reset. India would gain freedom from a permanent Western security distraction, allowing it to focus on long-term priorities like economic expansion, maritime security, and competition in the Indo-Pacific. Pakistan would face an even deeper shift. For decades, Kashmir has shaped its national identity, military doctrine, and foreign policy. Resolution would require moving away from confrontation and toward internal reform, something far harder than maintaining conflict, but the rewards would be enormous. Foreign investors avoid instability, tourists avoid conflict zones, long-term development collapses when borders remain tense. Remove Kashmir from the equation, and Pakistan's economic geography changes completely, from a frontline state to a regional connector. This also strikes at the heart of extremism. Prolonged conflicts create narratives. Narratives create recruitment pipelines. In Kashmir has been used for decades as justification for radicalization, militancy, and cross-border violence. A genuine resolution would not eliminate extremism overnight, but it would remove one of its most powerful symbols. When conflict loses legitimacy, recruitment collapses. When peace becomes normal, violence loses purpose. This would reduce not just regional instability, but global terrorism risks as well. And then there is the angle most people overlook completely: China. A Kashmir resolution would not just reshape India-Pakistan relations, it would disrupt the entire strategic triangle between India, Pakistan, and China. Today, instability in Kashmir gives China leverage. It justifies its deep military alignment with Pakistan. It strengthens Beijing's position along critical infrastructure corridors. And it keeps India strategically distracted on its Western front. Remove that instability, and the equation changes. India gains the strategic freedom to focus fully on its eastern borders and the Indo-Pacific. Pakistan becomes less dependent on China as a security guarantor, and China loses a key pressure point in South Asia. Suddenly, Beijing must deal with a more focused India and a more economically independent Pakistan. That is not a small shift. It is a strategic recalibration. The ripple effects would extend globally. The United States would welcome reduced nuclear risk and greater regional stability. Russia would benefit from calmer security dynamics. The Middle East would see safer trade routes and investment flows. In South Asia, one of the most underperforming regions in the global economy, could finally unlock cooperation. Connectivity projects could move forward. Energy sharing could expand. Trade corridors linking Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East could become reality. Countries like Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka would benefit from a calmer neighborhood. Of course, none of this would be easy. Decades of mistrust do not disappear overnight. Public skepticism would remain. Institutions would need time to adapt, and peace would be fragile in its early years. But compare that difficulty to the cost of doing nothing. Permanent tension, lost growth, military-first thinking, and generations inheriting a conflict they did not create. Conflicts persist not because solutions do not exist, but because the cost of change feels higher than the cost of stagnation. Yet the cost of stagnation keeps rising. Every year without resolution means more money diverted to defense. More trade was lost, more opportunity sacrificed, more lives shaped by a past they never chose. The world around South Asia is changing fast. Supply chains are shifting. Asia is becoming the center of global growth. Regions that cooperate will rise. Regions trapped in old rivalries will fall behind. This is why the Kashmir issue matters far beyond its borders. If it were ever resolved, history would remember it as a turning point. Not because it ended a dispute, but because it unlocked a future that had been frozen for decades. The real question is no longer whether peace would help. The real question is how much longer the region can afford to wait.